Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time, welcome. This is Dwayne, and we're doing another tone recreation video on the Quad Cortex. So what I like to do is take a song and basically try and recreate the tone using the Quad Cortex. I use only devices and captures available on the device itself, no third-party IRs or anything. It's all stock stuff. So I want to keep it accessible and, not you have the hassle of having to go download anything. And today we're doing a subscriber requested song today called Rats by Ghost. So I don't really listen to Ghost a whole lot. I've heard some songs, and what I have heard I like. This song I have been listening to a little bit in anticipation for this video. I've also done some prior research about this song as well because I don't really know much about the band and their equipment or this song in general, but listening to the song a couple of times and also the information I could find about their equipment, I observed that it's got a crunchy tone. It has an 80s vibe about it, 80s feel, so an 80s rock, but still kind of like little hints of late 70s in there. That they use orange amps, but they have also used Marshall amps, like a JCM 800 or 900, I think. My hunch is it's a British style amp we'll end up going with. Our options are somewhat limited there on the Quad Cortex, so we may end up using a Marshall, or there are captures as well on the Quad Cortex, factory ones for the orange rock reverb and whatnot. So we might end up going down that path. I can hear some clear highs and present mids, and that's pretty much my observations about the song. So what I'm actually going to do, what I've got here is I've got Cortex Control open for our preset. I've also got some tracks in the background without vocals, also isolated guitars that we're going to be listening to try and distill this tone down. Just if you're not familiar with this song, this is the guitar tone. Yeah, it's like a typical crunchy rock tone, basically. I have also kind of got a rough idea of how to play it. I found out the tuning, and I am tuned down, but it's in drop C with the low C tuned up to D. What we're going to do is we're going to start messing around with trying to get this sound. My first hunch when I heard this was like I could probably use a plexi. We might actually try and go for a JCM 800 first, I think. We're going to put a JCM 800 in there. And then for the cab, we might use the 412 Brit 60A. Okay, so we've got our amp choices here, and so I can hear that's way too thin. I'm actually going to try dialing down the gain on this one too. We're going to go 6, and I'm dialing down the gain. I'll show you why in a minute. So mid 6, we're going to go treble 6 as well. Presence, we're going to bump that up. And for the master, we're going to try and go like 8 or 9. So we may have to put the output down too. It sounds a bit thin, and I actually might change out our cabinet to, we definitely want to keep a 412. Might do a Brit cab, or actually we may go for an orange cabinet. Let's hear how this sounds now. That is actually surprisingly not too bad. I think we might need an overdrive pedal in front of this, and I'm going to go for the tried and tested tube screamer. I might give us a little bit of gain there at, I don't know, we'll try 3. For the tone, we might bump that up a little bit, and for the level, we might go to that's actually not too bad. Maybe a little bit more gain. Okay, so we've got a section of the song here where I think it's just the guitar. I'm going to use that to try and find our tone. That actually actually sounds pretty bang on to me. I think we need a little bit more overdrive. So one thing I am going to try here as well is I'm going to try a different cabinet. So I'm going to look for a 412. We're probably going to use the Brit 60B V30 95 cab. This was the orange PPC V30. So still V30s, but... probably too much. Doesn't seem to handle the overdrive as well on that, does it? It's too gain. And we could probably put that master up even more. Let's try 9. Cool little riff. Let's bump this up a little bit too so we can get a little bit more volume. Compare that to the song. That actually sounds really good. I'm actually really surprised how quick this is coming along actually. So we're going to save this so we don't lose it. We'll call it Rats. We don't want to tweak this too much because this style of music is very much like, it is very much a amp driven sound. But we are going to do like we're going to adjust the low end around about graphic EQ for this maybe. Let's use a graphic EQ. We just did a 1 dB boost around 100. Now, we want to do a slight boost at the 1K mark, I think we said. So we're going to do... We're going to do low pass filter. And I'm going to actually try going from around 6K, which might seem extreme, but... So we just rolled off the high frequencies above 6K on here using the low pass filter. It might seem a bit extreme, but we don't want any kind of anything excessively high. We do want the mids and stuff. Want a little bit of low end, but we largely don't want anything above that 6K range. Doesn't do anything for the style of music. It's, you know, we could probably add a little bit more grid in there. I think this we changed the cabinet out, and I don't know if it was the orange that couldn't handle it, but there you go. That gives us a little bit more like, gives us a little bit more punch. And maybe we could put this at 5. My quickest tone recreation video, I think, compared to some of the other ones. We pretty much just added an overdrive, a tube screamer in there. We added an amp cab and some really basic EQ. Nothing actually really. We've got like a nice crunchy rock tone too. That a lot of the classic rock stuff was like. Actually, I'm listening to that. I think our overdrive pedal's pushing a little too much extra overdrive on that. So what we're actually going to do now is I think we're going to try and play along with the song. There you have it. Couldn't quite play the whole song as, I'm not really familiar with it. For the most part, I think we nailed the essence of the track. And if you look at what we ended up with, it's nothing. Like, probably the simplest and quickest preset I've ever made. We've got an overdrive pedal. We did put a little slight extra overdrive in there for crunch. I think that fakes an orange in a way. The Marshall did the job. I mean, we could have also used a capture, like a Rockaverb catcher or something, which I think would have worked, but we ended up dialing up the master on the JSM 800 to 9, so basically to all the way. Gain moderate at 4.5, so that kind of gives you that crunchy sound. What a cool song, cool riff. You can see pretty much 666 for bass, mid, and treble, present 7. We dialed up the output a little bit to make it a little bit louder. 9 on the master, evidently. It's not enough. We ended up using a 412 60B V30 cabinet, and we did really, really tiny little adjustments on the EQ. Boost at 125, boost at 1K, and then we did a low-pass filter at 6,000, and that is it. I'd love to know what you thought and whether or not you thought it came close. I mean, listening through headphones, I thought it was pretty good, all things considering. Especially, I'm not really overly familiar with Ghost's tone or songs or anything like that. So I'm kind of like, I'm not spending very long doing this. And if I had more time, I could spend hours and probably get something that probably maybe sounds a little bit better. But for the most part, what we got here is passable. You could use this for any kind of classic rock tone. You could use this presumably if you're doing Ghost songs. I don't know if all their tones sound like this, but love that tone. I'll probably end up using this for other stuff. And you kind of realize you don't need as much gain either. If you look at the gain we actually use, like 4.5 is nothing. But when you start dialing out the master, it kind of mixes with the gain there and kind of gives it that little bit extra power. So I'm not really certain of the dynamics of how amps work, but I do know, Marshalls love to be cranked up. So let me know in the comments what you thought, if you thought I did a good job on that. And also, if you have any of your own requests as well, just like this one was requested by a subscriber, leave a comment below with a song you'd like to see me tackle next. Can't guarantee that I'm going to get it perfectly, but I do try and balance between speed, efficiency, and accuracy. Obviously, you can't get all of those at the same time, but I like to think I come up with something kind of usable and close in the end. I'm actually pretty happy with this. So yeah, I plan on doing these videos quite regularly. So if you haven't subscribed, and you want to, feel free, because if you liked what you saw, I'm going to be doing more of these videos in the future. Try and get one up every couple of days or so at the moment. So definitely, if you have a request, please do. And as always, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time.